So, like, the whole thing's an hour, okay, from the beginning. Yeah, it's really long. And, it's after starting off with, the gayest tickle scene with little boys I've ever seen. I mean, it's... they focused in on their butts for some reason. It was weird. We then go into, like, 10 minutes of exposition. Yes, it is 10 minutes. I mean, they walk around and they're outside and it's not inside of a cafe, but it's 10 minutes of unbridled exposition. It's really bad.
I would just keep it to 5.
I know, it's ridiculous. It's just 10. It just okay, but like okay, so then after that, basically, there's Alice, Oboro, and like Kirito, and they go. Kirito basically comes up with the idea for ice to keep their food cold, you know, so they don't have to worry about going back and eating the food really quickly during summer so it doesn't spoil. So then they go into the cave that they're not supposed to go to, but they find loopholes around it. They go like, well, technically it's not playing. We're doing this for work to help the village with the ice. And also we're not going technically into dark territory. We're just going to the halfway point. They go inside, they get the ice, they find out the white dragon is dead and then they end up going out there's a white dragon, but it doesn't really matter in the whole course of what I'm talking about. I'll bring it up later if it does later, but So they go there, they see the white dragon's dead. They're like confused about why it's dead because it's supposed to protect them. And then they collect the ice, but they don't remember which side they came out of. So then they pick a side, and the side ends up going to dark territory, and Alice accidentally trips and falls, and her fingers barely go over into dark territory. And that breaks the rules, and the next day she gets taken in to be questioned and executed. And Kirito isn't able to do anything, and Oboro freezes. Then Kirito wakes up with a tear in his eye. And that's the first 20 minutes. I know, it sounds like the first 10 minutes of a show, but no, that's the first 20 minutes. That was the whole episode right there.
Yeah, actually.
And then, so it was really slow paced, man. It was real slow. The thing is, I will compliment the show on this. Its animation, when it wants to look good, which is 70% of the time, it looks good. But then there's that 30% that bothers me because I'm looking at the screen and the average is so high in the show. So when it dips below...
Why did you need to record?
So I can edit stuff later. So I can...
Hey, we're going to have to get to the good part because there's a reason why you're recording and I just want to figure it out.
Okay. All right.
We gotta get to it.
Okay. So like Then they, so like Kirito wakes up with the crying, and then that was the first 26 minutes, and then they're playing GGO. Yeah, they go back to the gun game for some reason.
Why?
Because Sinon wants their help to get rid of this group of player killers. And what's really dumb about it in general is because, everyone's designs looks exactly the same as their real-life counterparts from SAO and every other game that they play. But remember, GGO's supposed to have a random characterization picking thing, hence why Kirito is a girl. But everyone looks exactly the same except for Kirito. And it's, like, bothers me. I'm like, you came up with that. You can't just change it. Then this is when it really happens. Right when you think SAO improved. And it's like, okay, you know what? They won't do exposition. There's another exposition dump for 7 minutes in a cafe.
About what?
About the soul transfer thing that he's doing just to explain what he just did.
But nobody cares.
Bruh, he's talking to Sinon and Asuna in a cafe. You know, the black guy is there, and he is a non-character. He didn't say anything. He just is cleaning dishes in the background the entire scene.
Come on.
It's just like, why? 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 Are you having a second exposition dump in the same? I thought they couldn't. I was laughing because I'm like, there's so much beauty in the world, you know.
It really isn't.
It's like, how do you come up with
We're already 27 minutes in.
No, at this point, it's like the 30-minute mark. The exposition starts at like minute 30 or something and then stops at like minute 39.
Right.
Then... And then, okay, so after that exposition is over, Kirito and Asuna walk together and have half exposition and half cheesy romantic dialogue. and then Deathkun just appears out of nowhere and decides, now is the time I'm gonna kill Kirito.
Nah, this isn't funny. This is not a joke. Really not a joke. Didn't like his partner die or something?
No, remember, his partner was his little brother, and his little brother's in like prison or whatever for accomplishing. And he's the older brother, and he just appears out of nowhere. He just was stalking Kirito, and then just decides, this is the time I'm gonna kill him. This is the time.
And they just fight like in the middle of that whole entire thing. Like that's what. That's like what I'm hearing.
Well, if you could call it a fight, Kirito does that thing that he does when he forgets he's not in a freaking video game and reaches for his sword that's not there. Yeah, he did that. Then after he reached for his sword, he kind of just he uses his umbrella. All right. So then the guy comes charging at him, and also this is when the show decided to have horrible storyboarding and animation. Like, it would have good animation, then have a still shot of Kirito's face. It was just weird. It was just like, why did you? No, you can't do that. I have but like, so Kirito, so like the guy charges at him with the poison, and actually lands Kirito, and Kirito pushes him in the leg with the umbrella, and it makes the guy fall over because he hit him in the leg with an umbrella. And they both fall back on the ground, and the twist is like, oh, is Kirito dead? But we know that he just gets put into the game thing. But what really got me about this episode, it was the OP.
Wait, that's the end?
Yes, that was the 40-minute. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a 48-minute episode, does it?
Wait, there's nothing else.
Not in this. No, I'm about to talk about the OP, which is the best part. This is the best part. Okay, so the OP plays, and it is the most generic thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Bruh, it starts off with them running sideways into the sunset. The most generic anime opening bullcrap you could come up with. They are running towards the sunset. I'm like, Sword Art Online, you've always had just mediocre OPs, but this is a new low. This is a new low. You can't be pulling this now. You can't be doing this. And then
what I'm hearing about the show overall.
No, and Taji, it's not even over yet. The whole OP was just character shots. I swear to God, there was like nothing happened. There was one action shot, but like at least Sword Art Online usually, like, you know, when the chorus hits in, like there's a bunch of action going on. There was none of that. There was one action scene. The rest of it's still character shots. They couldn't even do what they normally do. And apparently they're trying to make or no scale canon, so because they keep on mentioning stuff from the movie, and I'm like, man, I should probably watch the movie if they're gonna keep mentioning stuff from it.
I watched one of them.
And then Kirito and the guy from the game have this gayest handshake I've ever seen in my life. It's just...
Boss. I know it must be bad because you said gay. No, you don't say that really. You never say that.
I don't. But I'm like, when I saw it, I'm like, oh, this is the gayest handshake I've ever seen. Like, they're like, first is
coming over like soon, so we gotta watch.
It's like, you know, it starts off normal, you know, like it normally does, like a normal fake secret handshake. Like they do the handshake, like hand hitting and then fist bump. Then they do this thing where they put their like hands in front of their mouth, and then like they point up, and then they're like, yeah, and they think it's cool, and I'm like, no, this is what is this? I was like, all right. There was so much beauty in this episode, you know. Honestly though, if I'm gonna rate this,
okay, I gotta go take a shower.
All right, but if I was gonna rate this episode, it would be like, it'd be a 6. Like, it was better. It was the best episode of Sword Art Online so far.
Alright, let me know later.
Okay, I'll tell you next week about it.
Alright,
Bye. If you like this style of review where I talk to my cousin about every episode of Sword Art Online Season 3 every week, like and subscribe. Because I plan to do this every week, even if it isn't successful. Only because I really like talking about Sword Art Online with my cousin. Hope you guys enjoy listening to me talk badly or positively about it, because I'm just honest with this show. Show's been in my life for too long to completely hate it and to completely love it. See you next time.